Leading change as though individuals matter. I was working for a multinational business who acquired a UK manufacturing organisation, and I was asked to run it while they decided how to integrate it into the parent company. The business was based on a single site, and one of the options was to integrate all the activities into existing operations and to close the site. While the decision was being made, I was approached by someone who worked in our manufacturing area, and in fact he was responsible for one of the critical manufacturing operations. He explained to me that he felt very uncomfortable awaiting a decision, and he decided to look for an alternative job, and he would leave once that job came up. I had a lot of sympathy for his position. I too feel uncomfortable when other people's agendas control my decisions. On the other hand, I worked for the company long enough to know that he might be making a decision which wasn't in his best interests. For example, I knew that based on other redundancy programs, the redundancy terms would be generous. I also knew that if the company did decide to close the factory, they would want to keep the manufacturing operations, and therefore there would be a long period between the announcement being made and the site being closed as they made those transfers. I therefore encouraged him to make an active decision on his part to stay and to shape his future career along those lines. Sadly, the time came when the decision was made to close the factory. The announcement was made, and the person I'd spoken to had 6 months before the factory was closed. He left with another job and a generous redundancy package. The decision he made turned out to be in his best interests and those of his family. I'm sure, in keeping with everyone else who was made redundant, he would have liked the option to stay and work and for the business to have remained open. As leaders of organisations, sometimes we can struggle to understand why the people who work for us view our change proposals with suspicion and concern. But it's likely that we all respond negatively to change which comes from other people. However, there are 3 steps that we can always take which help manage those early stages of change. Firstly, we can explain why change is necessary using a need for change statement. Secondly, we can be clear about why our proposals for change will address these issues we've identified. Thirdly, we can create opportunities for individuals to be involved and to make choices for themselves. If during the change process we get an opportunity to talk to people on an individual basis, we should be very careful to listen to their concerns and to take them seriously and treat them with integrity. We should also listen to any advice they might want to give us. You never know, we might just learn something that makes our change more effective. If you'd like to know more about the emotions of the change process, please go to www.hartswoodpress.co.uk/ebooks, where you'll find the Leading Organisation Change series, and you'll be able to download a free copy of ebook 1, The Emotional Roller Coaster.